So how far would you go to save a crew from sinking? Today we're at Brendan Theaters watching The Finest Hours. Going into this movie, I wasn't super excited about it. I know it's based off a true story, which is cool, but the trailer kind of looks like it's not super exciting. Like you're watching a rescue. There's not a whole lot more to the story. It's a rescue. So when I actually watched the movie, I found it to be quite boring. Visually, absolutely stunning. I'm no special effects expert, but I have no idea how they did 90% of those shots. Just huge vistas with the storm going, giant waves. It was absolutely captivating. But the actual story itself, I feel, was a lot of filler. They had an intriguing story, but not enough of a story to last for an hour and a half or however long the movie is. So they filled it with a bunch of filler. There's a lot of times where you're like, okay, I get it. They're in the ocean. Oh, okay, I get it. It's supposed to be tense. It's supposed to be tense. You get the same thing over and over and over again trying to fill time. I felt that it took away from the tension because it breaks your immersion. You're like, okay, I get it. So that aspect really pulled me away from the movie, which is very rare for me. Normally I'm super immersed in whatever I watch. If you are associated with the Coast Guard or into the maritime aspect or a fishing boat or something like that, you'd probably really enjoy this because you would understand a lot of the minutia more. I have the feeling, without having the knowledge, that they really went into minute detail to make this realistic and true to the story. I appreciate that. The actual Coast Guard and the ship and the terminology and the way it's built and set up and the way the shots are shot. I have a feeling that they took a lot of effort to make it realistic and true to the actual craft. The story, on the other hand, they Hollywooded it. Everything happens at perfect moments. Feels like there's no way this actually happened this way in real life. It feels like it was the base level of the real story and then Hollywood all over it. I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was visually stunning and I enjoyed watching certain scenes of the movie just because I wanted to know how they were done because they were so breathtaking. The acting wasn't bad. The acting was actually very good. The parts that were supposed to be dramatic were dramatic. The few moments in the movie that were supposed to be funny were funny. I felt that it was well done in the form of acting and special effects, but the actual entertainment value was very low. Let's hear what our other Coast Guardsmen had to say.
Visually, it was spectacular, and this is Chris Pine's best performance since 2009 Star Trek, dramatic-wise, or I should say best performance outside of the Captain Kirk role. If this were not a true story, this were just made for drama, for the heck of it, like an average rescue movie, I would like this. There's no way any of that stuff would have been possible. Practically, it's impossible, but apparently, it really did happen. I would not have believed it if I had heard it myself. Story-wise, this movie is utterly amazing. Visually, it's utterly amazing. Pacing issues, though, unfortunately. It starts off slow. I know they want you to get to know the characters and such, but it just felt a little uneven. And it also amazes me that half a ship can stay afloat for that long. And they explain how that's possible. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. Shows how much I know about ships. Visual effects, though. I'm surprised that this didn't get an Oscar nod at the Academy Awards. There was not a point in the movie where I was like, that looked fake, or, oh, give me a break. It was really, really well done. When the water splashes at you, the lens always gets wet. Really, really spectacular. Visually amazing, cinematic-wise, acting-wise.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this and why?
I'm going to give this a 7, primarily for its visual storytelling, its drama, and its cinema scope and visual effects. Reason for a 7 and not any higher is pacing issues. It got a little boring starting out. If it had better pacing, I'd say this was the ideal rescue film that you would enjoy, that everyone would enjoy.
I'd like to know, what is your favorite movie that involves the sea? Think Coast Guard, think Sailor, Waterworld, whatever you want to think that involves the sea and water. I'm very curious to hear. Leave that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for reviews every week. And remember, you heard it here at The Source.